I am in shock. I am in shock. The Indiana Fever just beat the Aces. The first win for the Indiana Fever against the Las Vegas Aces since I was 22 years old. Aces MVP to refs, Fever's MVP and Alyssa Smith. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The Las Vegas Aces dynasty is officially dead. It wasn't ended by a last-second shot or a rival superstar. It was systematically executed in a humiliating 27-point blowout, and the team that did it was the Indiana Fever, playing without Caitlin Clark. This single game exposed the entire lie. A league MVP getting every call she wanted and still failing, a team of so-called champions who completely vanished, and a level of favoritism from the refs that still wasn't enough to stop the bleeding. What happened on this court wasn't just an upset, it was the complete demolition of a fraud and the arrival of a new terrifying power in the WNBA.
And Asia Wilson, my God, you see how many free throws that lady have? Oh my God, on the stat sheet she had basically 30 points, but all the free throws this woman got, man, they tried their best to keep the Aces in the game, man, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter, man. They destroyed the Aces. About freaking time the Fever finally beats the Aces, man. And without Caitlin Clark. You know what I mean?
For 16 straight games, the story was always the same. The Indiana Fever would face the Las Vegas Aces, and they would lose. The Aces were their boogeyman, the unbeatable final boss of the WNBA. They were the two-time defending champions, a team spoken of in terms of dynasties and legends. But on this night, the script wasn't just flipped, it was torn to shreds and set on fire. The most shocking part? It was accomplished without the architect of their newfound fame. Sidelined with an injury, Caitlin Clark could only watch as her team did the unthinkable. This victory wasn't just about ending a losing streak, it was about shattering a mental block and proving to the world that the Indiana Fever are far more than a one-woman show.
But this was a big win for the Fever because the Aces were the only team that they had not won at least one game to last season, meaning the Aces swept the Fever last season. They actually haven't won a game against the Aces in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark. This team is crazy. They are beating the number one team in the league first. And then they go and beat the Aces, who they haven't won to in 16 games. And they did it without Caitlin Clark, which is just a testament to how this team is finally developing a rhythm.
But to truly understand the magnitude of this collapse, you have to look at a single play in the third quarter. A moment so baffling it exposed the league's entire narrative. Fever guard Lexi Hull established perfect rebounding position, boxing out Aja Wilson with textbook fundamentals. As the ball came off the rim, Hull secured it cleanly, but from behind, Wilson reached completely over her head, grabbing and pulling her in a play that is, by any definition, an over-the-back foul. It was obvious to everyone watching.
The line a decent amount of times. Asia Wilson, she got a favorable whistle in the second half, but it is what it is. Superstars get the whistle. Unless your name is, 29 points for Asia Wilson, 3 boards, 3 personal fouls, 3 turnovers, 9 for 18 from the field goal, from the field, 11 for 13 from the free throw line. Look at the rest of her team. 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 6 points, 0 points, 4 points, 2 points, 3 points. Dana Evans, 1 for 10, Dana Evans. Oh my goodness.
Whistle blew and the call was a jump ball. A jump ball. The referees had witnessed a clear violation and decided to reward the fouler with a 50-50 chance to get the ball back. It was a stunning decision, one that felt less like a mistake and more like a desperate attempt to hand a lifeline to the struggling champions.
I don't know about frustrations boiling over as more to just like making a point. Caitlin says she got me though, so.
One more than that.
She just got a bonus.
And by bonus, she was meaning the Commissioner's Cup bonus, which was $49 or $43,000 per player, because the prize pool was $500,000. And apparently, Steph White just was pissed about the officiating. I don't know if it was Asia Wilson's whistle or what, but
The Fever didn't just win this game, they systematically dismantled the Aces piece by piece, and it started from the opening tip. In the first quarter, Indiana came out with a ferocity the Aces simply couldn't match. They attacked the paint relentlessly, building an early lead and setting a physical tone, but it was the second quarter where this game turned from a competition into a public execution. The Fever stepped on the Aces' throats and refused to let up. They shot an almost unbelievable 81.8% from the field, a figure so ludicrous it sounds like a typo. They were a perfect 6 for 6 inside the paint, while the supposedly mighty Aces managed a pathetic 3 for 13. By the time the halftime buzzer sounded, the score was 46-24. The game wasn't just out of reach, it was in a different galaxy. This wasn't a lucky run, it was methodical, calculated destruction.
The third. Like I said, the referees were starting to get on the side of the Aces. They were trying to wheel the Aces back in. And Lexi stepped in and sort of killed it. Kelsey Mitchell never took her foot off the gas tonight, by the way. This is the best thing I've seen from Stephanie White all season long. Right here, she was aggravated by the refs already. And in the fourth quarter, 5:35 left, Stephanie White lost her shit on the sideline. She lost her shit. And let me just play this right here. Roll it.
Lost that lead late.
And you see her. You see her just losing it up here. Losing it. And she got teed up right there.
On the sideline.
And Caitlin Clark loved it.
On paper, Aja Wilson's stat line looked impressive, 29 points. Most nights, that's a winning performance from your MVP. But when you peel back that first layer, you find a devastating truth. Those 29 points were completely hollow. Wilson got to the free throw line 13 times, nearly as many as the entire Indiana Fever team combined, confirming the favorable whistle she received all night. Yet even with that advantage, her team was obliterated. The reason lies in the most damning statistic of the game.
Really put it on. Right here, you can see 24 points in the first half for the Aces. I mean, seriously, for the Aces. Points in the paint, 38-20. I mean, it was a dominant win by the Indiana Fever.
While Wilson was getting her points, the rest of the Las Vegas Aces shot a combined 7 for 43 from the field. That's 16.3%. On a team loaded with supposed all-stars and championship veterans, no one else could score more than 6 points. Wilson wasn't leading a team, she was on an island, putting up empty numbers in a desperate losing effort.
This defense is playing phenomenal. Oh my God, it's night and day. I think that Commissioner's Cup gave them swag. Now they're swagging it out. I never seen Natasha Howard so aggressive in my life. This girl is beasting now all suddenly. She is beast moding right now. And Timpson, the rookie, getting block shots, getting steals. Aaliyah Boston is just murking, destroying Aja Wilson. I got a Wilson. I got a nickname for Aja Wilson, guys. You know what it is? Whistle Wilson. Because this lady's always getting whistles. She's the person with the special whistle, guys. Every freaking time. And then she goes to the free throw line. Freaking free throw merchant. I think she's related to SGA. But anyway, she's not playing that great.
And speaking of a supporting cast that went missing, let's talk about Chelsea Gray. For months, a narrative has been pushed by critics and league veterans that Gray is the superior point guard, the steady hand, the one who truly understands how to win, often in direct contrast to Caitlin Clark. On this night, that narrative was exposed as a complete fraud. Gray finished the game with a miserable 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting. Even worse, she had more turnovers, 5, than she had points and assists combined. While her team was drowning, the player meant to be their floor general looked completely lost, smothered by the Fever's relentless defense. The irony was impossible to miss. As Chelsea Gray was playing herself out of the game, the cameras kept cutting to Caitlin Clark on the sideline, passionately cheering, coaching, and injecting her team with an infectious energy. One leader disappeared, while another proved her value without ever stepping on the court.
The Aces tried to put a little run together to start the third quarter, and Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull shut that shit down. They shut it down by hitting some big shots. All right. That steal led to the only 2 points that Sophie Cunningham had. But it was big. So right here, let's just start. Let's start Aaliyah Boston right here. That's Sydney Colson to Boston. She going to drive into the lane.
Wilson.
And I've got to tell you, she gave Asia Wilson all she could handle.
While the Aces were a collection of isolated players in panic, the Fever operated like a symphony. This was a masterclass in team basketball. Kelsey Mitchell was the engine, pouring in 25 points and dissecting the Aces' defense with 6 assists. Aaliyah Boston was the enforcer, scoring 20 points and physically dominating Aja Wilson in the paint. Natasha Howard, the Commissioner's Cup MVP, put up a double-double with 11 points and 10 rebounds, doing all the dirty work that wins championships. But their real masterpiece was on defense.
We're about to say some words I never thought I'd say. Free Asia Wilson. Free her now. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. I never thought I'd say this. If I'm Asia, I'm in that locker room, I'm stripping everybody of their A1s. I'm sure I didn't give y'all these free shoes and y'all gonna come out here and y'all can't even give me more than 5 points. None of y'all, where y'all at? Y'all can't help me out. I'm reigning MVP. I'm bringing y'all these champions. I took a pay cut for some of y'all to be here and you can't give me no points. Really, I'm over here. I have 25 points in the third quarter, and you can't give me nothing.
They held the most explosive offense in the WNBA to just 26% shooting, their lowest mark of the season. They forced 17 turnovers and played with a connected, suffocating chemistry that made every single possession a nightmare for Las Vegas. This wasn't one star carrying a team. This was 5 players working as one unstoppable unit.
God, with more turnovers than points and assists combined. More turnovers than points and assists combined. We got Point God, aka Point Fraud. And remember, this is probably who the WNBA player said was also better than Caitlin Clark. They said I'm pretty confident they said she was better than Caitlin Clark.
The battle wasn't just one on the court, it was one on the sidelines. In the fourth quarter, with the game well in hand but the officiating still questionable, Fever coach Stephanie White absolutely lost it. She stormed the sideline, screaming at the referees until she was hit with a technical foul. To an outsider, it might look like a coach losing her cool, but to her team, it was a declaration. It was a coach fighting for them, refusing to let them be disrespected even with a massive lead. Caitlin Clark was seen smiling, loving the fire from her coach.
Guys, when did Indiana Fever turn into the best defensive team in the NBA? When? I mean, after that celebration from the Commissioner's Cup, we all thought they were going to come out here a little bit hungover. I mean, their defensive prowess has gone up 100%. In the first half, we have Aces down 22 points. We have only beaten Las Vegas Aces one time in 9 years. For those who do not know that statistic, we've only beaten them once in 9 years. Their defense is impenetrable. We have 28 points in the paint for the second quarter. We are shooting 90% from the field in the second quarter. This is insane!
It was a moment of defiant unity. Now compare that to the Aces bench. As their dynasty crumbled, their coach, Becky Hammon, seemed to have no answers. The team looked dejected, disconnected, and completely out of ideas. One coach injected her team with fight, the other watched hers flatline.
Team win, folks. Team win. And you notice the team win, like I said, 24 assists on 31 shots. 24 assists on 31 shots. The Indiana Fever hold the Las Vegas Aces to 26% from the field. 26%. This was a Fever defense smothering. The Aces weren't just missing shots. The Fever defense was all over the place. Defensively, we were all over the place. Neither team could hit a three, except for Kelsey Mitchell. Money Mitch can hit the three.
How does a player have the biggest impact on a game without scoring a single point, grabbing a rebound, or dishing an assist? They change the entire culture. The Caitlin Clark effect isn't just about ticket sales and TV ratings. It's about the swagger and confidence she has injected into the Fever's DNA. The team that took the floor against the Aces wasn't the same one that used to roll over for them. They played with a chip on their shoulder, a belief that they belonged. That comes from the standard Clark sets every single day. Her leadership is infectious. After winning winning the Commissioner's Cup, her first thought was the bonus money her teammates would receive. That team-first mentality is why a group of players, even without their star, could come together and play with such perfect, unselfish chemistry. Clark wasn't on the floor, but her fingerprints were all over this victory.
CC gang! Fever gang! Down goes the punk-ass Las Vegas Aces, everybody! Kelsey Mitchell, the road runner, out there dropping daggers with a 25-piece Boston Market with the rotisserie chicken, baked beans, corn on the cob, mashed potatoes, every drink available. The tiny assassin, Harry McDonald, out there slicing through the defense, getting buckets. Asia crybaby ass Wilson, hold this L. You ain't nothing but a free throw merchant, goofy. Indiana Fever, that's how y'all ball. I don't know what's going on right now, but y'all got the momentum. We can't wait till Caitlin Clark is back on the floor.
This game sent a shockwave through the entire WNBA. For 2 years, the league has operated under the assumption of Aces' invincibility. They were the super team, the inevitable champions. That illusion is now shattered. The Fever didn't just provide an upset, they provided a blueprint. They showed that the Aces can be bullied, that their offense can be stifled with disciplined team defense, and that their collection of stars can be fractured when faced with real adversity. Every other front office and coaching staff in the league was watching. They now know the Empress has no clothes. This result blows the championship race wide open and puts immense pressure on the Aces front office. It proves that simply assembling big names isn't enough. Chemistry, coaching, and culture just beat a super team by 27 points. In the end, this game wasn't just a loss for the Las Vegas Aces, it was a full-blown exposure. It revealed that their dynasty might just be a myth, their chemistry is broken, and their championship mentality has vanished. All the favorable calls in the world couldn't save them. Aja Wilson can put up big numbers, but she can't win alone. This night proved that team basketball, real chemistry, and relentless defensive toughness will always triumph over individual heroics. The balance of power in the WNBA has officially shifted. The Indiana Fever are not just Caitlin Clark's team, they are a legitimate, deep, and dangerous contender. The dynasty is dead. The Fever have arrived.